If you have said to yourself, I should write that, or if someone has said to you, you should write that, then I'm talking to you because you need to write. And that's why you're tuned in to yWrite. Hi, welcome to yWrite. I'm your host, Angela Grout. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of yWrite, where we find out why you should be writing your story and how you're going to do it, because you're going to meet writers on this show who are telling you why they wrote and how they did it. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you've been following me and subscribing on YouTube, and you've been doing all the prompts that, we have at the end of the show. So be prepared for more today, and let's just get started right away. I have a guest in studio today who's driven about an hour and a half to come see us, so this is wonderful. His name is Ron Castonguay, and let me tell you about Ron. Ron has 3 decades of experience as an educator and a music conductor, composer, performer, arranger, and clinician. What could this story be? What could this interview be about today? Well, we're going to educate you on that, and you're going to find out a lot, because he is an expert in creating fun. He engages in educational programs and has all sorts of clinics that allow everyone to learn to enjoy and read music and play music. He is the director of the Arts and Music program at the Frederick Gunn School in Washington, Connecticut. And he is the author of this book here, which is called The Rhythmic Sight-Reading, the Tik-A-Tee Method, Sight-Reading Rhythms and Time Signatures for Beginners to Advanced Musicians. He's also the creator of word search puzzles. We're going to talk about that. And he is the producer and instructor of the Rhythmic Sight-Reading, the Tik-A-Tee Method on YouTube. So we have lots to talk to him about: his book, sight reading, and music. So welcome to the show, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. And, I've seen your YouTube videos.
Awesome.
And I'm like, what is this? And it's just so neat because, you teach people to read music, and, beginners, advanced, whatever. I mean, I watched lesson 25 the other day, which I did understand a little at the end, but I realized I probably should start with lesson 1.
Yep. It's all cumulative. Yep,
yes.
Absolutely.
How long have you been a music teacher or into music?
So, I started the saxophone in the 5th grade, so I think I was like 10 years old. So I've been doing music a long time, and at the end of this last school year, I just finished my 32nd year in education. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a journey, and still firing on all cylinders, and still excited to do it every day.
It's such a beautiful gift to be a teacher.
Agreed.
It's a calling. It
definitely is.
And, when you have a love for something and you can share that love with someone else to teach them, that's huge. You have a way of doing it in a very fun way.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing music, and, for people who are into music, they're serious about it, but you're still making it very fun.
Yeah.
When did you start writing a book about writing music?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great question. And, it all goes back to COVID, of course, right? Shockingly.
Yes, COVID.
Well, instead of baking sourdough bread, I said, I've been using this method with all of my music ensembles. And I was in Miami for 30 years and kind of developing this method, this Tik-A-Tee method, and this way of sight reading and understanding rhythms and inherently understanding time signatures and all this. And I said, we're doing virtual music ensembles. Schools are shut down. I've got the time. And my good friend, Adrian Gordon, who we taught together in Miami for many years, and he moved off. He's in North Carolina now, and I'm in Connecticut, and we would talk to each other on the phone once COVID hit, and we were both out of schools, and we said, hey, let's write our books that we've been meaning to write. And we both encouraged each other, and we just would sit at the table. Of course, he'd be in Miami and North Carolina, and I'm in Connecticut, but, we would just sit down and we would just do it. And at first, it was very overwhelming. Like, where do you start?
Yeah.
And I just had to sit back and think about this. And he and I would have these conversations about where to start and our table of contents and thinking about outlines and all these different things. And honestly, we just inspired each other throughout this whole process. And fast forward 4 years, because that's how long it actually took to write the entire book, because it's very intentional, very programmatic, very sequential. So it took 4 years to write the book and record all of the MP3s that accompany the book. But it was finally released in March, the middle of March 2024. Very, very exciting. I think his book, Adrian's book, was actually released before mine. Yeah, that's how it all started. And the reasoning behind it was I wanted to give back to a world that gave so much to me, which is music education, like music and music education. I was seeing where students were struggling, and it's in reading music, right? And 90% of the mistakes students make in sight reading is in the rhythm, number one. Number two, the majority of students that drop out of music programs is because of that struggle of like, I just can't read music. I just don't get it. Because it has to be taught in a very scaffolded way and sequential way. And so I wanted to give back to the music community and write this book and share it with the world so that other people could find the success that I was having with this method that kind of, it's research-based because I used it on my students over and over again. Like, this is working, I'm going to stick with that. Oh, wait, this isn't working. I'm going to pivot and change to this way of doing this. And that's what this book encapsulates is just all those years of trying and failing forward. And that's what this book is all about.
Like that failing forward.
Yeah,
it is. You need to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love that you had an accountability partner.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was.
That's
what we were to each other.
It's huge.
That's what we were to each other.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, what it's one thing, you know, to sit down and you just start writing. Writing is very lonely.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you have music in your head, so it's keeping
I had my dog at the time.
Okay.
So I would write with my dog.
But, you know, it's like whether you're sitting in front of someone writing or in a writing group, of course, during COVID, being able to have this virtual community and you know, you guys, I am assuming, like, set up certain times, and you're like, okay, we're going to, you know, you show up to the page. You show up to get it done.
Yep.
So I think that's a great tip for anyone out there writing to say, get an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you're both working on two different pieces.
Definitely.
So you can bounce your ideas off, because it kind of, like, I like when, you know, someone shares their story, it gets me out of my story for a minute. And it's like, okay, let me you know, help you. Or if they're sharing something else, I'm like, oh, I love the way they did that. Yeah. You know, I'm going to try to adapt a way to do it in my story, even though, you know, they're completely different, whether it's memoir, fiction, or music. Yeah. And this is a very, you know, original book for me to have on the show, because a lot of people have, you know, shared their memoirs. And this is like, you know, it's not a how to lose weight. It's not a how to eat well. It's a how to read music. And you have to read the book in order to learn to read it. Correct. But in addition, you were talking about how you did all these MP3, you know, and you're doing, you know, you adapt this book into the YouTube program. So you have, you know, it evolved.
Yes, it definitely evolved. So the YouTube channel, so what I want for teachers is I want them to realize that this can be done with 5 or 10 minutes of, you know, music ensemble rehearsal time each day, as long as it's consistent. And what the YouTube channel does is it teaches each chapter, which I call weeks. It's a 36-week curriculum. So each chapter is actually labeled as a week. Each YouTube video teaches the concept. So you can actually tell your students, you could flip the classroom. Tell your students, hey, go home, watch this 20-minute video, learn about this concept, come back with questions, and we'll do some exercises. And then, boom, we can get right into our rehearsal or whatever it is that the teacher has planned for that day. But at the same time, they're adapting this method. So the YouTube channel is really there as a supplemental resource for the book.
Well, and in this era of children.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not on the internet.
Oh, no. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
I mean, it's such a great way. I mean, you know, I'm thinking the kids must love, like, go home and watch this YouTube video for 20 minutes. That's your homework tonight.
Exactly.
I mean, they can, you know, well, you have to watch I mean, you definitely, I see you have to watch it because you're pointing, you know, to, you know, the different thing. I'm going to pull this out for a second. I'll randomly open it. Let's see if I can randomly open it to something. You know, but like, you know, you're showing, you know, these, but on the video, you're highlighting it. You're doing hand drawing, you know, writing on it. So it's like, it's a visual thing that you have to see. Yeah. And with reading music, I mean, it is, because you look and you're like, okay, is this, you know, what is this? You know, what kind of beats are these? How fast is it? What's the measure? I'm going to talk like I know a lot about music.
But you got it. You got it.
And, you know, I mean, and then because I liked, you know, the one that I had seen, like, you know, you play the music so that they can hear it and they can sing the beats.
Correct.
You know, which is the whole.
Well, this whole method, right? The whole method is about the vocalization of rhythms, so that you can vocalize rhythms and then you can adapt it to your instrument. And that's the idea. So you vocalize it first, regardless of what instrument you play. Vocalize the rhythms first, then you play it on your instrument.
Right. I'm feeling normal now because, I've composed some music to go to a play, and I hear it in my head, so then I would start singing it, and then
there you go.
Trying to get it, because I'm like, in the middle of the night, it feels so right. And then
you bring it to your instrument.
That's the song.
Yeah,
so then it's like, now I'm writing out the words and then, singing it to someone like, okay, what note is that? I have no idea.
Exactly.
And so, all right, I'm going to share a little something personal here, but my daughter goes to the Frederick Gun School, where you are, which is how we met.
Yep.
And Molly has been a very good, she is a good singer. She's, done a lot of things. She loves her sports right now, which, is
that's okay.
All around girl.
It is. Yeah.
But some of the songs that I had written, like in the very beginning, I would give to her and I go, can you just sing this for me? And she'd go, well, how do you want me to sing it? Do you want like country, rock and roll? And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care,
Surprise me.
And then it's like she would just start singing it. And like in the middle of the night, I had that tune. So she had to, I felt like I had to get that tune out. So I would sing it to her and she'd be like, Mommy, you're not a singer. But I did it well enough for her to catch the tune, but it was just like so cool because then, you pick it up and you sing it. But then if you need to, get the sheet music and you need to write it, you need to know how to read the music to get to it.
That's the intention of the book, too, is to bridge that gap that you're talking about. A lot of students struggle with rhythm and understanding how to notate music. This is a perfect example of that. And this book bridges that gap of like, hey, maybe now I can understand what that rhythm is or what time signature this song is in, and things of that nature.
Because music is a universal language. Like
Absolutely.
We all can.
Absolutely.
And it will be there forever. Like
Absolutely. I still think that schools should count music. If you take it like 4 years in high school, it should count as a world language. That's how much I believe
100%.
That's how much I believe it's
because that is a language.
It's a language.
And
it's a language.
For people like you can think in that language.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if I start singing, I don't know, row, row, row your boat or whatever, you know the notes. You can probably see them.
Yeah, the notes and the rhythms.
And I have a friend who's Korean, and she'll write, and I'm like, that doesn't look like a language. It looks like art.
Yeah, and it does.
And this is like another form of art. But she speaks English, but she thinks in Korean.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, if you're listening to a song, are you listening to you're listening to?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of a curse, right? So every time I listen to a song,
cool.
I'm thinking of what the rhythms are and what the melody is and what key it's in and the time signature. But, I try not to do that, but it's, doing it as long as I have, it's hard not to listen to a song and think that way.
I was a dance teacher for years, so I always do the counts.
Oh, there you go. So
because I'll be like, what's the beat of this? Okay, it's a, it's an 8 count, it's a 12 count, it's a 16, like, what's the move on that? But it's just interesting how, all of that can get adapted into a book, which, okay, I'm going to go into now the book because, you wrote it.
Yep.
You typed it all up. I mean, I have no idea how you type this up on a computer. You must have to have a special program, right?
Programs. Yeah, I had to use several different programs.
But I love that you did spiral bound.
Oh, because it stays open on the music stand.
I mean, and these are things that writers have to think about. Like, how are you going to publish your book? Is it going to be in hardcover? This would be terrible in hardcover.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Just knowing what you're using it for, how you're using it, is such a great thing. And you have these, like, I'm going to call them laminated pages. They're not really laminated. They're
a little bit thicker.
A little bit thicker. But you can tell, like, you can write on them. They're not easily terrible. Like,
Correct.
I think that's what I mean. And I should know what.
Well, there was a lot of intentionality, like things like, and the reason why I took 4 years to do it is because I thought about all those little things. All of the method books, if they don't have spiral bound and you're looking at it on a music stand, it's going to keep closing on you. I also did the print a little bit larger so that students could share the book, because these are intended to be like classroom sets. Like teachers would get a classroom set if they have 20 students. Then you get 10 books, 1 book for every 2 students on a music stand. You open it up on a music stand, it stays open. 2 students can see it very clearly because it's larger print. Things like that was very intentional. And I did have to learn some new software, to create this. But that's the time that COVID gave us, right?
Yeah.
I learned how to use Final Cut Pro and InDesign and Finale and Sibelius and all these different programs.
Okay, now I'm feeling failure that I didn't learn all these things.
But this is the time we had, and it's almost like a blessing in disguise that we had that time because this was able to happen.
You're using it in your curriculum.
I am, every single one of my music ensembles.
It's very easy for me, I'm not a teacher in this, but I feel like other teachers, this would be a very easy piece of material to bring into their curriculum.
Absolutely, especially with the YouTube channel now. Especially with the YouTube channel, because that takes some of the onus off of the teacher. They don't have to actually teach these concepts if they don't want to.
No, they can go right into
just show the YouTube channel in class if they want. You know, it's
That's
totally up to them.
amazing.
Yeah.
Would you get royalties for all that? How do you get paid for all that?
I haven't even thought about that because I'm giving back first. Like the YouTube channel is just out there for whoever wants.
Did you know when you were writing the book that you would do a YouTube channel for it? When did you know that you wanted to do like a video?
I did. I had a feeling that because it's a method that I've developed, and it's not a method like I didn't reinvent the wheel here. These aren't all brand new concepts. They're just the concepts that work best. For example, in every time signature, and you can do it at any tempo, all of these words work so they're not tongue twisters and like all these different things. So as I was developing that, I was thinking to myself like, well, you know, this is my method and I am teaching it via the book, right? And I'm making sure I give really clear diagrams and explanations and pro tips. But there's nothing better than the author to probably teach each one of these concepts. And that's so as I was beginning to complete the book, I was thinking, yeah, the YouTube channel is going to happen.
That's
so
awesome.
I started my first video, I think it was like last September. And I'll be done with all of them by the end of this September.
Okay, so I was going to say, are they all recorded or?
I just released week 25 yesterday, and there's 36.
Yeah.
So I still have 11 to go. Yeah.
So see, I watched.
Yeah.
I watched 25 yesterday.
But it's once a week. They come out every Tuesday. Tik-A-Tee Tuesday.
Tik-A-Tee Tuesday.
Tik-A-Tee Tuesday.
See, and it just all flows.
It
all ends
flows.
up flowing.
It's all
you know,
meant to
it's
be.
so. You also do word search puzzles.
Yes. Yes.
So and it's music related. Tell us a little bit about that and what kind of.
So I've taught AP music theory for a long time, and there are over 370 terms that music students have to go in and learn before they can really get into that AP exam and do well. And I said, what is a fun way to get these students to really embrace learning the definitions for these 370 plus terms and concepts? So I created a word search. There's 31 puzzles. It covers all of the terms plus 40 composers' names. And there's a full glossary in the back.
Okay, I was going to say, I love word search, but I mean, I'm just going to circle the word. I don't know what it means.
No, but here's so in my word search book, I don't say the word and then you find it. I give the definition.
Oh, you're doing like a crossword puzzle.
Yes, and then you find the word.
Oh, this
now,
is highly
the other way you can do it is you can find the word in the word search and then match it up to the definition.
Brilliant.
Which is great. So now, because of that book and the success that book's had as a word search, and to your point that you just said it, 1 month from now, I'm releasing the same exact material in the form of a crossword puzzle book. 31 puzzles, and because there's people that like word searches and there's people that like crossword puzzles.
It's such
material.
It's such a great, I hate to use the word modern way to teach, because
it has to be fun.
I mean, when I was in school, I would have loved something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we would have loved that, and that's why, you know, you're creating this. And, you know, I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm doing a crossword puzzle that says like a vehicle that drives children to school. School bus.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the idea.
Right.
That's the idea.
I mean, and it's just.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, you said something right on.
So glad he's an instructor at my daughter's school.
Yeah, well, there you go. The comment I get most after people see either my word search book or the Tik-A-Tee book is, where was this when I was growing up?
Right.
And that's like the best compliment 100%. That I can receive, because that's what I want to give back. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, you said you were in Florida for 30 years?
30 years.
So what brought you up north?
So I grew up in Massachusetts. Okay. I was in Dudley, then
Welcome
Marshfield,
home. You're in Mass
then
now.
Foxborough, half mile from the Patriot Stadium. I went to the University of Miami. And loved it down there. Got a job down there. Stayed down there. My two daughters were born in South Miami. So I was down there for 30 years. But just realizing it was just really hot, really crowded. I wanted to get back to my roots and show my daughters.
Right, we're filming this right now in July, and it's really hot.
Yeah, it's like 90 right now, right? And I wanted to bring them back to a New England culture and have them experience four seasons and just the idea of New England. Yeah. And we're in Northwest Connecticut, and you know, both my daughters were born in South Miami. Their favorite season, winter.
Really?
Yes, both of them, which is just so funny.
So do you send them out to shovel snow every time it snows?
Well,
they love that.
You know, yeah, they don't love that part.
Okay.
And frankly, I am not a huge fan of winter. But I will tell you, like in New England, fall, spring, summer, Nothing beats it in New England.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are a New Englander at heart.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm finding that out. I am, yes.
And how old are your children?
So my oldest is 16. My youngest is about to be 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sienna and Summer.
Getting right into the teenage years.
Yep. I'll have two teenage girls.
Sienna and Summer, they love winter.
And they love winter. Exactly right. Exactly right.
It just flows so nicely.
Yes.
When you started writing, when you came up with the concept for this book, how long from concept to publication?
Like I said, it took about 4 years. Okay. It took about 4. So I started it in 2020, and it was released on March 15th, 2024. Okay. Now, keep in mind that I was ready for it to be published about 6 to 8 months earlier than that, but that's where I took the time to complete all the MP3s. Okay. So every single exercise in the book, and this is one of the benefits of this book that a lot of other books don't have, you can sight read at home, but you don't know if you did it right. But now every one of the exercises has an MP3. You can actually check to see if you did it right by listening.
Are they getting to it through a QR code? I mean,
it's just on my website. Those are actually free and on my website. Yep. Like, you don't need to buy the book to go listen to those.
That's amazing.
They're just on my website. But a lot of books don't have the quote-unquote answers for an exercise. All of them do, and I recorded them all myself.
Well, I think about, like, even when I was in high school, taking Spanish 1.
Yep.
Like, I'm home practicing these words. Am I saying it right?
But you don't know if you're doing it right.
I have no idea if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
So it would be so great to be able to go to something to hear. And of course, I'm dating myself with how many years back I was in high school.
So this is like...
Well, where was that?
Right. This is like the music version of Duolingo, right?
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what this is. You can see an exercise. You can see if you can read it, try it out, vocalize the rhythms, and then say, okay, did I get it right? Let's go listen to the MP3 and see if I got it right. And then you can do it along with the MP3. But then the ultimate goal is to bring your instrument into it. You've got to play the exercises ultimately on your instrument.
And it can be used for all instruments.
All instruments.
So.
It's for orchestra, band, jazz band, voice, guitar, piano, anything, music theory. That's because it's just rhythm.
That's amazing.
And you can't have music without rhythm.
Yeah. I mean, to talk to an author, I'm going to call it a textbook.
Yeah,
we all went to school, and those textbooks are our Bible.
Yeah.
When you're in school, that's the Bible, and it's like, okay, who wrote this? Who put the curriculum together in this book?
Yeah.
And here, we get you live in the studio talking about this.
Yeah.
And it's not history, but you tie in a lot of other kind of subjects in there. I feel like because you have a lot of math. There's a lot of math in music.
Yeah, there's a ton of math in music. Yes, and I my first gig out of college, I was an algebra teacher.
Ah, okay, because you definitely talk a lot, about math. But then I'm thinking even with the I'm going to say crossword puzzle stuff, like giving the history of composers and so it's like you're still getting your history. You're getting It's written in English. Do you have it in other countries right now?
No, not right now. But it is still cross-curricular, right?
The music itself, the notes would be universal.
Universal.
Because that's a universal language, which is
totally
cool about music.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, we all understand that. I love this. I love
awesome. Thank you.
Learning the Tik-A-Tee method. Do you want to show us one little thing in there?
Sure. If you
want to. I was like,
sure.
just when you were doing an exercise 25, like you were saying those certain words.
Do you want me to do 25?
Yeah.
All right, so let's turn to 25, since that's the one I just released yesterday.
Yes. And I'll attach the link here.
Yeah. So which one did you want me to?
Well, the one
25A.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So 25A. So this is this whole chapter this week is on a thing called quarter note triplets, okay? And that's a subdivision in music and so forth and so on. And for a lot of the exercises, I'll actually put the verbiage in here so that students can actually see, okay, I'm going to vocalize these rhythms, but what are the words that I'm saying? The words become so second nature by the time you get to week 25 in my book that you're actually thinking in Tik-A-Tee verbiage by the time you end up reading music. Yeah. So let me throw my glasses on because I need reading glasses. And I will see if I can do here exercise 25A. Now, is this okay for that? Everybody can see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll snap the beat. This is the quarter note. So this is the pulse. I'll give myself a 1 beat count off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta, triplet, 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 ta. Ti, ti, ta, triplet, ta. Ta, triplet, ta. Triplet, 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 ta. Triplet, triplet, ta. And that's that exercise right there. Now, you'll notice how I did that on a pitch. So one thing that I really preach in my book is that you not only have to vocalize them, you really have to sing them. And I know a lot of people are
That's why
crazy
I
about
wanted you
their
to do it
singing.
live so they could see,
they're not
you know,
crazy
what it
about
is.
their singing voice, and I get it. But music really, this is the original instrument, right? The human voice is the original. So it brings musicianship, it brings musicality to a rhythm.
Yeah.
So, and when you have a classroom of students going ta, ta, triplet, it starts to sound kind of cultish.
Yeah.
So like it's not a good sound. And it doesn't bring relevance to rhythm, which is what this book is all about.
Yeah.
The whole idea is that you're going to see all of the rhythms in my book in your music someday. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So if you can read those rhythms and you can bring musicianship to rhythms by doing all of the exercises on a pitch, and all of the MP3s in my book are sung. I did sing them like kind of like what I just did. Might not have been the same note, but I sang them all because you have to bring musicality to rhythm. Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing all this. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fun.
So, you know, obviously, if they're in your class, they're getting a book.
I have
but where can they get this book?
So there's 3 places that you can get the book. If you want the spiral bound, that's available on my website, roncastonguay.com.
Okay.
And you can peruse my website. There's all kinds of different pages you can check out, including all the MP3s. You can also get the spiral bound version through jwpepper.com, PEPPER.com. That's a music distributor. And they have the spiral bounds. And then on Amazon, if you want a perfect binding, it doesn't have the spiral, but just a perfect binding. It's a little bit thinner, but it still has the glossy cover in the back. It's still a soft cover. On Amazon, you can get this book as well as if you check out my store, Ron Castonguay Music. I have a store on Amazon where I have manuscript books. My word search book is there. All different types of productive types of books for musicians, music students, music educators.
All right, I will write those links down. I'll put them in the links, especially like to go to Amazon for the Ron Castonguay music.
Yeah.
And then your website, roncastonguay.com.
So. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Sing us off, but
thank
you so much again.
You're
and
welcome.
I want to thank Ron for coming into the show, and I want to thank you, my listening audience, for tuning in every week and meeting very exciting and interesting guests that I have on the show, because it's something that I love to do, and the fact that you're tuning in every week and subscribing to the YouTube channels or on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're watching this, thank you. And if you're interested in writing music and learning how to read music, you definitely need this book, because this is gonna teach you everything you need to know in maybe a month, a little over a month if you do a lesson a day. Who knows? Maybe a couple weeks if you're doing that. So again, I definitely highly encourage you to check out Rhythmic Sight-Reading, the Tik-A-Tee Method, on Amazon and on roncastonguay.com. And in the meantime, this is the time of the show where I am going to get you to start writing. So when the show is over in a couple 2 minutes or so, I want you to pick up your pen and I want you to just start writing. Set that timer for 5 minutes. If you have longer, great. But 5 minutes right now, just get started. And, over the last couple weeks, we've talked about, setting up a writing time, trying to figure out when you can sit down, if you're going to give it 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, an hour a day. We have talked about different subjects to write about, like what you're interested in, what you're an expert in. We've talked today to someone who's an expert in music, but you're an expert in something. And for a simple exercise today, I want you to think about something that you did today. I don't know what time you're watching this, so who knows? Maybe it's 7 o'clock in the morning and all you did was get up and make your bed, get dressed and brush your teeth. But maybe it's 6 o'clock at night and you went and played pickleball or you gave a presentation. And I want you to write about that. Like, it's a little journalizing exercise today. I want you to write about what you did, but write the steps out of how you did it. Just the simple steps. I'm sorry if it's you made your bed, got dressed, and brushed your teeth. Those are going to be very easy to write. You can get real detailed about the steps. You put the toothpaste on the toothbrush. But, if you went out today and you were doing something with pickleball, or, you gave a big presentation at school or work, or your children, you lectured them, write it down. Journalize it today. Get it on the page and write down the steps. So hopefully you'll take at least 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, so you can start writing your stories down too, to share with everyone. So again, thank you for watching Why Write. I will see you on the next episode. Have a great day. See ya.